What's going on, everybody? So it is the last feeding day for the anaconda until March. So I'm going to open this up and try to get both of these for you guys. I'm going to do my best to hope. Shit. She wasted no time. And between the lights, I can't ever get a good shot. It's such a pain in the ass. I'm sorry, guys. Whew. She is such a great eater. There we go. Oh, let me see if I can back this out a little bit. No, it's not going to let me. Of course not. But you can get some pretty good shot there. So she is somewhere between 7.5 and 8 feet long. She does not turn 3 years old until the middle of next month. She probably weighs somewhere around 12 pounds, give or take. So she's definitely starting to mature and thicken up. But I'm still very, very cautious with her feeding. She gets a large rat. Let me see if I can get the light on. So she gets a large rat every 4 weeks from March until the end of July, early August. And then she gets them every 3 weeks. And then she fasts from mid-November until the end of February or early March. So being around 7.5 feet or so, getting the large rat, and I use the bigger ones for her, obviously, because of her size. She gets the ones that are around like 9 ounces or so. It leaves a sizable lump, not a huge lump, but in my opinion, the perfect size where it's noticeable, but it's not busting her belly. I keep the prey items roughly as thick as the biggest part of her body, so there's just a slight lump. Unfortunately, anacondas are probably one of the most overfed snakes out there because people think because they're heavy-bodied that there's no harm to just stuff them full of food, but they can easily become obese and very, very unhealthy. And unfortunately, that's pretty much standard in the hobby. I see very few people that don't overfeed. So the fasting was something that I picked up talking to some herpetologists who have studied the anacondas in the wild for years, as well as my vet, who was also a herpetologist. The food cycling has worked out fantastic, and it's not... Some people think that you just power feed them half the year and then starve them half the year, and that's not at all the case. Essentially, at the beginning of the year, around March or so, once a month, that's all she needs. They have much, 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 much slower metabolisms than most boas. So they don't need to be fed every week, every 2 weeks, pretty much ever. I mean, not for every week at least. So, like I said, she's almost 3 years old and she's pushing 8 feet, but she's pure muscle. She fasts during the winter, and I've had phenomenal results with it. She loves eating underwater. So I would say once it's time to bring her back on food in March, I'm going to switch her to rabbits. Rabbits are much leaner than the jumbo rats. Jumbo rats are pretty much pure fat, and they should really not be the primary food source. They should be just a treat. So what I'll be doing is giving her equal size rabbits most of the time, with maybe one jumbo rat on the year as a treat. So I'm gonna close this. So once it's time to start feeding her again in March, she'll be getting rabbits that are equal to the size of jumbo rats. And it'll probably be every 5 to 6 weeks. And then once the end of summer, early fall starts, I'll probably shave a week or 2 off until it's time to fast her again. And probably starting next winter, she's gonna fast from the beginning of November until March. And she's growing just absolutely wonderfully. I got her in March of 2019. She was 53 inches. Now, again, she's between 7.5 and 8 feet, probably closer to 8. It's hard to measure her though. So guys, if you have any questions about food cycling or fasting or the benefits of it or why I did it or the things that I've learned from researching with herpetologists, vets, zoologists, anaconda experts, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. I'd be happy to let you guys know. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. They don't need to be fed as much as they are. I mean, sure, someone might be feeding their 5 foot, 6 foot anaconda a jumbo rat every 2 weeks. And you know what? Maybe your snake is going to be a foot bigger than mine at the same time. But at what cost? I mean, you're running a huge risk of heart failure and obesity issues by power feeding and overfeeding these animals. They have very slow metabolisms. Be patient. You want a long, healthy life for these beauties, and they do not need to be stuffed full of food as much as they are. So, anyway, if you guys want to see more, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. And again, if you have any questions, let me know. And I apologize for the glare, but really not much I can do about that. This beauty. She'll probably sit there with it for 45 minutes, and then once she decides to eat it, it'll be gone in 2. So everyone be safe, and I'm gonna let her eat.